I ain't gonna sugarcoat anything. I'm not here to sound poetic or try to play the victim. I'm just gonna tell you how it went down. Straight. My name's Ryan Calloway. I'm 36, and I work in HVAC. Heating, cooling, ductwork, all that. Been busting my back for the last 15 years, crawling in attics in the middle of Tennessee summers, just trying to make an honest living. Not rich, not flashy, just solid. I lived out in Hendersonville, about 30 minutes from Nashville. Quiet spot, nice neighborhood, mostly families and folks with steady jobs. We had a modest little house on Shelby Drive. I mowed my own lawn every Saturday, cleaned the gutters myself, kept up with the HOA rules even though they drove me nuts. All because I wanted to build a peaceful, dependable life with my wife, Jenna. We met back in 2015. I was doing an install at this mid-sized law firm downtown. She worked the front desk, all polished and organized. Hair tied up, glasses, button-down blouse. She wasn't loud or flirty or anything like that. She was calm, controlled. I liked that. Felt like something stable. We went for coffee one weekend, started talking, and it just clicked. 6 months later, we were living together. A year after that, I put a ring on her finger. I ain't the kind of guy that plays games. Never was. I'm simple. I work, I come home, I try to be a good man. I paid the bills, cooked some nights, folded laundry when she got tired. I never complained when she wanted new stuff for the house, throw pillows, rugs, candles that cost $25 but smelled like nothing. I just said, okay, babe, and kept it moving. And for a while, we were good. I mean, really good. Sunday morning pancakes, watching old movies on the couch, little trips to Chattanooga or Asheville on long weekends. She used to text me in the middle of the day just to say she missed me. We used to sit on the back porch with a couple of drinks and talk about our future, the kind of house we'd get when we had kids, where we went on vacation once we had more savings. All that cute married couple stuff. But then, somewhere around year 5, man, it just flipped, quietly, like a slow leak you don't notice till the ceiling caves in. At first, it was little things. She stopped touching me. No more random hugs in the kitchen. No hand on my shoulder when she walked by. Then she stopped laughing at my dumb jokes. Stopped looking me in the eye during dinner. I'd talk about my day, which wasn't glamorous, but it was something, and she'd barely react. Just nodded, or said Her face stayed stuck in her phone or on the TV. But what really hit? The nights. I'd crawl into bed after a long-ass day, muscles sore, smelling faintly of metal and insulation foam, and I just want to hold my wife. Not even sex, always just closeness. But every single time I tried, she shut it down. I'm exhausted, Ryan. I'm cramping. I had a stressful day at work, and the excuses never ended. One night she even said, "Can you not breathe on my neck?" Like I was some damn stranger in her bed. That one hurt more than I thought it would. I let go at first. Figure maybe she was just overwhelmed. Her job at the law firm had gotten messy. Her boss was writing her, long hours, depositions stacking up. I told myself, this'll pass. I mean, marriages go through dry spells, right? But weeks turned into months. Every night became a repeat of the last. We'd go to bed in silence, backs turned, no good night kiss, no touch, nothing. Just dead space. I started feeling like I was sleeping next to a ghost, cold, distant, barely there. And the thing is, I never pressured her, never made her feel guilty. I just roll over, face the wall, and take the hit. Quietly. But every time I did, it chipped away at something inside me. Eventually, it wasn't just nights. It bled into mornings too. I'd get up around 6, start the coffee, and she wouldn't even lift her head. Didn't matter if I kissed her forehead, brought her breakfast, or left a little post saying, "Hope your day's better." She'd either mumble or ignore it completely. There's something brutal about loving someone who makes you feel invisible. It's not even about sex, man. It's about being wanted, being seen. I felt like furniture in my own home. I started venting a bit to my buddy Zach. He's on my crew. Divorced twice, so he knows the game. We were working a job in Brentwood, up in some rich guy's attic, and I just spilled. Told him how things were at home, how Jenna hadn't touched me in damn near 4 months, how I felt like a stranger in my own house. He looked at me, sweat pouring down his forehead, and said, "Man, you're not in a marriage. You're in a damn hostage situation." That line hit me harder than it should have, 'cause deep down, I already knew he was right. I just hadn't admitted it yet. What made it worse? Jenna never asked what I needed. Not once. Never said, "Hey, are you okay?" Never wondered why I was pulling away or getting quieter. She just acted like my silence was annoying, like my distance was some kind of personal offense. I remember this one night. A Tuesday, I got home after doing a 12-hour install job in East Nashville. Back aching, shirt soaked, hungry as hell. I walked in and found her on the couch, wine glass in hand, watching some trashy Netflix show. I said, "Hey, babe." She looked at me like I was a bug on the wall and said, "You tracking mud." That was it. No, how was your day? No, you okay? Just you tracking mud. I went straight to the bathroom, looked at myself in the mirror, and thought, how the hell did I end up here? And look, I'm no saint. I've got flaws. I get grumpy. I can be quiet sometimes. But I never made her feel like she didn't matter. Never treated her like background noise. And yet, that's exactly what I'd become in her world. At that point, I stopped trying, stopped begging, stopped buying flowers, stopped planning date nights. I started going to bed earlier, leaving the house earlier, barely said a word at breakfast. And she noticed. Oh, now she noticed. She'd hit me with passive-aggressive stuff like, "You don't even try anymore," or "You've been so cold lately." And I just nod. No fight left. Why fight for someone who stopped fighting for you a long time ago? That's when I knew, deep in my gut, that this wasn't going to fix itself. And if I wanted peace, real peace, I'd have to make it myself. And trust me, I did. But that's a story for the next part. The funny thing is, the second you stop chasing someone who doesn't give a damn, that's when they start turning their head. That's when they suddenly notice you're slipping. But by the time Jenna realized I wasn't begging anymore, I had already checked out. Not physically, not yet, but mentally, I was gone, man. Packed up, moved out, locked the damn door behind me. I wasn't loud about it. Didn't throw a tantrum or slam cabinet doors or leave dramatic texts. Nah, I just started doing what she'd been doing to me for months. Nothing. I'd get up before sunrise, like 5:30 sharp, hop in the shower, grab my lunch from the fridge, and head out the door without saying a word. I'd stop at Maple's Cafe off Main Street. Same spot every morning. Small place, local owned. Always smelled like cinnamon and burnt toast. I'd grab a black coffee and a bacon-egg sandwich, sit by the window, and scroll through job leads, houses for rent, whatever. Not because I was in a rush to leave yet, but because I knew soon. I was planning something. Quietly. At work, I stayed sharp. Still ran duct lines, climbed ladders, got my hands dirty. But I stopped talking about home. Zach picked up on it real fast. One day, he handed me a wrench and said, "You're real quiet lately. You finally ghosted that ice queen." I didn't even look up. Just said, "Not yet. But she ain't on my mind anymore." He grinned and said, "That's worse than ghosting. That's called healing." And he was right. I was healing, but in my own way. My version of therapy was detachment. Pulling my energy back. And it showed. Jenna started to notice too. First, it was small, or asking, "You good?" when I didn't say anything during dinner. I just nod. Not cold, not rude. Just detached. Then she started hovering in the kitchen while I cooked, trying to spark dumb conversations about people from work I didn't even know. I'd listen, nod, then walk off to the garage. Then came the real turning point. One afternoon, I came home early. Caught a job cancellation in East Nashville. So I rolled in around 2 p.m. House was quiet, but Jenna was in our bedroom with the door halfway shut, talking on the phone. Now, I don't make it a habit to eavesdrop, but something in her tone stopped me cold in the hallway. Real soft, real fake, real not how she talks to me. I stayed quiet, leaned near the door. She said, "He's just boring now. Like, he doesn't even try. I feel like he's not even attracted to me anymore. I can't explain it. It's like living with a wall." Then laugh, this light, fake-ass giggle that made my jaw clench. Honestly, I think he's depressed or something, but I'm not his therapist. Like, if he doesn't make a move soon, I might. That was it. That was the final nail. She wasn't just disconnected. She was already writing her exit script, trying to flip it, make me look like the distant one. Like I was the problem. I wasn't hurt. I wasn't shocked. I was just done. That night, I slept on the couch. Not to be petty, I just couldn't stomach laying next to her. And I didn't owe her a damn explanation either. She didn't ask anyway. She probably thought I was sulking. But I wasn't. I was plotting. Next morning, I woke up, shaved, put on a clean navy work shirt with my name stitched on the chest, packed a bag, and tossed it in the truck bed. Drove straight to Whitley and Marks, a law office near downtown Nashville that my coworker recommended. Walked in, shook hands with Daniel Whitley, a divorce attorney with cowboy boots and a southern drawl thicker than gravy, and laid it all out. Didn't sugarcoat it. Told him everything. The coldness, the rejection, the distance, the phone call. He leaned back in his chair and said, "Son, sounds like you've been living alone for a long time." I nodded. "Let's get you out clean," he said. From that point on, it was chess. I didn't want drama. I wanted power back. So I played it smart. At home, I stayed cool. Didn't pick fights. Didn't give her a reason to explode. I knew how people like Jenna operate. If you get loud, they get louder and flip the script. But if you're calm, they start panicking. And boy, did she. About a week later, she started showing signs. Leaving little notes on the bathroom mirror. "Love you. Have a good day." She hadn't done that in years. Then she started dressing up more at home. Full makeup at 7 p.m. just to watch a show. Trying to sit closer on the couch. Testing the waters. But I was done playing. One night, I was watching the game in the living room. Titans versus Ravens, close score, and she came in wearing this silky thing she used to sleep in back when we actually had a sex life. She sat next to me, way too close, started running her hand down my arm. I looked at her and said, calm as ever, "What are you doing?" She blinked. "I just miss us." I nodded. "Nah, you miss me missing you." She pulled back. "Why are you acting like this?" I stood up, muted the TV, looked her dead in the eyes, and said, "Because I finally stopped chasing what doesn't want me. You pushed me away every night for months, like I was a burden. So I stopped showing up in the morning. And now that I'm quiet, you're panicking? That's not love, Jenna. That's control." She got real quiet, real red in the face. Tried to spin it, started crying, saying she was going through stuff and felt overwhelmed. Too little, too late. I told her I'd be staying at a buddy's place for a while. Threw some clothes in a duffel bag, grabbed my work boots, and walked right past her. She followed me out to the driveway barefoot, asking if we could talk. But I didn't stop. I got in the truck, started the engine, and drove off. That night, I crashed on Zach's couch. Beer in hand, game replay on the TV, and peace in my chest. And the best part? She had no clue what was coming next. I was setting up everything quietly. Changed passwords on my accounts. Transferred my direct deposit to a separate credit union. Took my name off the joint credit card. Called the utilities company and told them I'd be moving out, so the name would need to change to hers. It was like a reverse operation of the life we built. And she couldn't even see it happening. She thought I was cooling off, that I'd come crawling back after a few days. But the truth was, I had spent so long begging for crumbs that I forgot what it felt like to hold my damn dignity. Now, I was getting it back, piece by piece. And revenge? Oh, it's coming. And trust me, it's not about yelling or cheating or blowing up her life. It's quieter, smarter, the kind that stings every morning when she rolls over and realizes I ain't there. But you'll hear about that in topic 3, because that's where it all flips. She didn't see it coming, not even a little. That's the thing about people like Jenna. They live in their own bubble until it pops. They think you'll always be there because you always have been, until the day you're not. So let me tell you how I ended it. It was a Saturday, supposed to be a chill day, no work. I've been staying at Zach's for about 2 weeks by then, just giving her space. Well, that's what she thought. What I was really doing was getting every little duck in a row. New bank account, new mailing address. Even scoped out a rental out in Donaldson, tucked behind an auto shop 10 minutes from the office. 1 bedroom, nothing fancy, but it was mine. Quiet, clean, no cold shoulder waiting for me in the bed. Now that Saturday, she asked if we could finally talk. Said she missed me. I agreed. I didn't yell, didn't rush. I just pulled up to the house around 10 a.m., walked in, and saw her sitting at the kitchen table, dressed like she was in a church, little sundress, done-up hair, light makeup. That's how I knew she was nervous. Jenna never dressed up to sit in our kitchen. She poured me a coffee. We sat in silence for a second. Then she said, "I don't understand what happened to you." I looked her in the eyes, not angry, just done. "You trained me," I said. She blinked. "What does that even mean?" I leaned back, took a sip of coffee, and laid it out. "You trained me to shut up. to stop reaching for you, to stop asking how your day was, because you didn't care about mine. You trained me to leave you alone every night, because that's what you made clear you wanted. And now that I finally gave you exactly what you acted like you wanted, you're confused. She got quiet, then hit me with the classic, I didn't mean for things to get this bad. That's the problem. She didn't mean for me to wake up. She didn't mean for the roles to reverse. She just thought I'd keep being the guy who begged, the guy who chased, the guy who apologized for existing. I told her I was never asking for much. I just wanted to feel like I mattered in my own house. You couldn't give me that. Now I don't need it from you anymore. And that's when I handed her the envelope. Inside, the separation agreement, already drawn up by Daniel Whitley, signed and ready. I didn't ask. I informed. She stared at it, like it was written in a foreign language. You're really doing this? I nodded. Already did. Her face dropped. Eyes started watering. Voice cracked. You're giving up on us? That line right there? That pissed me off. I didn't explode, but I got real sharp. Don't you dare try to flip this like I'm walking away from something beautiful. You let this die, Jenna. You locked me out of our own bed and acted like I was some burden. Don't act surprised now that I finally stood up. She tried to reach for my hand. I pulled it back. I'm not here to argue. I'm here to end it like a man. You got the house. I'm not fighting for it. I'll have my stuff moved out by next weekend. I already took my name off the joint card. Utilities switch over on the 1st. That's when she realized this wasn't a bluff. This wasn't a tantrum. This was final. I stood up, grabbed my keys, and started to walk toward the door. She followed behind, her voice shaking now, going on about therapy, second chances, how we could reconnect. But I stopped at the front door and turned to her one last time. You had months, Jenna. I begged, I tried, I showed up. You treated me like I was invisible. Now you get to feel what that's like. And here's the difference between me and you. I don't need revenge. I just need distance. I walked out, shut the door behind me, and never stepped foot in that house again. Now here's where it gets better. 2 weeks later, she texted me. Said she missed talking. Said she was confused and wanted to meet for dinner. I left it on read. Then she called. 3 times. I let it ring. Sent her number straight to voicemail. She even tried dropping by Zach's place. He opened the door and told her I wasn't there. I just didn't want to see her. And Zach, he's loyal. He looked her dead in the face and said, if Ryan wanted to talk, he'd have already called. You blew it. Respect his peace. She left crying. A month passed, then another. Meanwhile, I was building something better. Got my own place set up nice. Nothing fancy, but clean. Simple. Mine. Started going on runs in the morning again. Signed up for a boxing class at this old gym in Antioch. Got back in touch with my cousin down in Murfreesboro, who I hadn't talked to in years. Picked up woodworking again, built myself a coffee table from scratch and everything. And for the first time in years, I had silence that felt peaceful, not lonely. But Jenna kept reaching out. Holidays came around, and I got a text, thinking of you. Hope you're okay. New Year's. Another message. You don't have to hate me. I still care. But here's the truth. I didn't hate her. I didn't feel much of anything. That's the part she'll never understand. When a man truly detaches, it's not anger. It's absence. And once I was out, I was out. She even had the nerve to message me 2 months later saying she wanted to try again, that she'd changed. I replied with one line. I'm not who I was, and you're not what I want. Blocked her right after. See, I don't believe in messy revenge. That's for people who still care. The real revenge is rebuilding, quietly, and letting the person who broke you sit in the silence they created. You want to know the cherry on top? About 6 months after I left, I got a call from a mutual friend. Jenna had tried to date someone new, didn't last long. Apparently, the guy ghosted her after a month. Told her she was too cold, too distant. Guess she finally got a taste of her own medicine. I didn't laugh. I didn't gloat. I just hung up the phone, walked out onto my little back porch, lit a cigar, and sat in the peace I built for myself. Because that's what grown men do when they survive hell and come out clean on the other side. They don't chase. They don't yell. They disappear and make you remember what it feels like to lose something solid.